The auction hall reeked of exotic incense and something far more primal. Kevin stood on the platform, his hands bound with luminescent cords that hummed with alien technology. Around him, the Beastwomen circled like predators eyeing fresh meat. They were magnificent and terrifying in equal measure, towering figures with features that blended feline grace, lupin strength, and avian elegance. Their eyes gleamed with an intelligence that surpassed most species in the galaxy, yet they looked at him as if he were nothing more than a trophy to be won. "The human specimen," the auctioneer announced, her voice a melodic growl that reverberated through the chamber. "Rare, resilient, from the Death World Terra." Kevin had heard that term before. His captors had used it with a mixture of fear and fascination. Earth, apparently, was considered one of the most hostile planets in the known galaxy. The fact that humans had not only survived but thrived, that made them curiosities, oddities to be studied, collected, and in this case, auctioned. 5,000 credits, shouted a Beastwoman with crimson fur and curved horns. 7th, counted another, her silver coat shimmering under the hall's bioluminescent lights. Kevin gritted his teeth. 6 months ago, he'd been a xenobiologist on a research vessel, studying jump point phenomena near the Kepler expanse. Then the pirates came, not human pirates, but a coalition of various species who trafficked in exotic specimens. He'd fought back, of course, broken 3 of their bones before they'd stunned him into submission. They'd learned quickly that humans didn't go down easy. 10,000, the bid came from the back of the hall, and the crowd parted. She was different from the others. Smaller, though still taller than Kevin by a head. Her fur was a deep midnight blue, almost black, with silver markings that traced elegant patterns down her arms. But it was her eyes that caught him, amber and calculating, but not cruel, not hungry like the others. 15,000, the crimson Beastwoman snarled, clearly not willing to be outdone. The blue-furred woman, she had to be young by their standards. Kevin thought, didn't flinch. 20,000, final offer. The hall fell silent. 20,000 credits was a fortune, even in this sector of space. The auctioneer's whiskers twitched with barely concealed delight. "Sold to Jasmine of House Knight." Whisper. The transport to Jasmine's estate was mercifully brief. Kevin had expected chains, a cage, perhaps even a shock collar. Instead, she'd simply gestured for him to follow. When he'd hesitated, she'd turned those amber eyes on him and said, "I'm not going to hurt you, but we need to move quickly before the others change their minds." Her home was built into the side of a massive crystal formation that jutted from the planet's surface like a jagged tooth. Inside, it was surprisingly modest functional furniture. "Shelves lined with data tablets and what looked like scientific equipment," Jasmine said, not unkindly. She moved to a console and began typing rapidly. "I'm disabling your tracking beacon. They always install them in auction prizes." "Prizes," Kevin muttered bitterly. "Is that what I am?" Jasmine paused, her fingers hovering over the console. "To them, yes. To me." She turned to face him. "You're a person who shouldn't be here." Kevin blinked. In 6 months of captivity, no one had called him a person. Specimen, human, creature, merchandise, but never a person. "Why did you buy me then?" he asked. "Because if I hadn't, Scarlet would've. And she collects humans the way others collect art, to display, to show off, to prove her status." Jasmine's tail swished in agitation. "At least 3 humans have disappeared from her collection. No one asks questions when prizes go missing." A chill ran down Kevin's spine. "And you're different because I'm a xenanthropologist," Jasmine said simply. She pulled up a holographic display showing Earth, its blue-green surface rotating slowly. "I've studied your species for years, your adaptability, your endurance, your capacity for both incredible violence and remarkable compassion. You don't belong in a cage." Kevin studied her carefully. Trust didn't come easy anymore, but something in her voice rang true. "So what now? You bought me to set me free." "Not exactly." Jasmine pulled up another display, shipping routes, patrol schedules, jump point coordinates. "I bought you to get you home. But it's not simple. Human space is 3 sectors away, and every route is monitored. We'll need to be smart about this." Kevin raised an eyebrow. Jasmine smiled, showing a hint of fangs that somehow wasn't threatening. "I'm coming with you. I've been gathering data on human trafficking networks for years, but I could never get close enough. You know their methods, their weaknesses. Together, we can expose them and get you home." Kevin felt something he hadn't felt in months. Hope. It was fragile, tentative, but real. "Why are you doing this, really?" Jasmine was quiet for a moment. "Because my mother was a prize once. A trophy wife taken from a conquered world. She died when I was young, but I remember her stories. I remember her pain." Her amber eyes met his. "No one should be treated as less than what they are. And you, Kevin, you're so much more than they see." He stared at her. "How did you know my name?" "I hacked the pirate manifests 3 days before the auction. I've known who you were since the moment I walked into that hall." She extended a hand, not a paw, not a claw, but a hand that could grasp and create and connect. "So, Kevin Chen, xenobiologist from Terra, formerly of the research vessel Galileo, will you trust me?" Kevin looked at her hand, at the earnest expression on her alien face, at the data displays showing impossible odds and dangerous routes. He thought about everything humans had overcome to reach the stars: gravity, radiation, the void itself. What was one more impossible journey? He took her hand. Let's go home. In the weeks that followed, Kevin would learn that Jasmine was brilliant, fierce, and utterly relentless. She would learn that humans could survive on 3 hours of sleep and pure spite when motivated. Together, they would dismantle trafficking networks, free dozens of captives, and prove that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their death world endurance, it was their ability to see people as people and to inspire others to do the same. End.